So we talked about how God has chosen us to be the ones to have an influence on our world. Yet because of this little big thing called age, sometimes we feel looked down upon by others. And while this is not a good thing, it can also be not a good thing for us to try and overcorrect that issue. And what I mean by this is that it's really easy for us to put ourselves first. In one way or another, we all tend to think about our needs before the needs of the actual needy. We prioritize our wants over the wants of our siblings. We would like to see the future turn out how we hope rather than someone who thinks differently than us would hope. And believe me when I say that I know what it feels like to be trapped in the illusion that your life is so special or so significant that it actually leads you to believe that your life has more value than the life of another person. It's really easy for us to put ourselves first. And this can be very dangerous as we attempt to set an example and influence our world, as we've been talking about. The Apostle Paul wrote a letter to the church in the city of Philippi, which we simply know as the book of Philippians in the New Testament. And in this letter, Paul is challenging the Philippians to interact with others by leading with love, just as Jesus did. He describes what an others first mentality actually looks like. Philippians 2:3 says this: "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself." When we embrace this thing called humility, which we already discussed as the first step to wisdom, and when we place the value of others in a higher priority than ourselves by simply considering their thoughts or their feelings and their needs before we start to consider ours, we then set ourselves apart as followers of Jesus. And when we set ourselves apart, we are more likely to be influential because, simply put, people notice. People start to notice us going against the grain, doing something different, treating others differently than how anyone else treats them. You might still be thinking, but Austin, I'm only in middle school, or Austin, I'm only in high school, or I'm stuck at home. What possible effect could I have on the world? What could I possibly do? Well, for most of you, it's day 2 of no school for the summer, so let's turn those brain gears back on just for a second. Brainstorm some opportunities today where you could practice humility by simply putting someone else first. Maybe you need to leave the last good snack for someone else in the family before you take it for yourself. Maybe you choose not to wear a mask because you don't see the point, but others might be more prone to this virus than you, so you put them first by choosing to wear a mask yourself. You see, devotionals are a great spiritual practice because they remind us of truth and they guide us in applying that truth each and every day. But the Holy Spirit can personally convict you to take what you learn here and use it in the way that only you can. Stimulate your creativity today as you seek out practicing humility. When we have an others first mentality, not only do we love people the way that Jesus did, but it shows others a more accurate picture of who Jesus was as a person, how much he values us, and why he did what he did for us on the cross. The ultimate others first action. Don't forget to check out the song of the day in the description.